It's the Chris Miles Show, giving you a logical perspective, an intelligent point of view. The full 411. Live from LA, it's the Chris Miles Show with your host, Chris Miles.
Family, how's everybody doing on this Friday morning? Our time, 8:33 Central Standard Time. Man, it is a blessing to be here. So much is going on out there in the world. And we're going to do our part to try to enlighten you, entertain you, and get you up to where you need to be. Welcome to the Chris Miles Show. We are episode 44. We're in here, like I said, we're going to come with some tangible information this morning. The conversation of that of Kyrie Irving is actually still going on. Excuse me. The young brother is still actually out of work at this point, and we are going to be talking about that. What I do find interesting at this point is all of the people that came out that had all of these negative things to say about Kyrie Irving, and the tweet has not come back out and said anything about the suspension. No one has said anything about anything. So it still stands that Kyrie Irving is not playing basketball. And from my understanding, he has to actually meet with the ADL, which we consider the ADL to be a white supremacist group with a slanted agenda out here perpetrating like they are there to, make people or hold people accountable for hate. And we know that's just not necessarily the case. Okay? Like I said, all of the ones that came out that were against Kyrie Irving initially, they are, abruptly, they are not there. Stephen A. hadn't came out and said shit. Shannon Sharp, Shannon Sharp is on Fox, Undisputed, Indisputed, whatever, Undisputed. And, Stephen A. has First Take. But all of the ones that came out that was against this guy, no one is saying anything at this point. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. That is a given here on the show today. We're also talking about, Kyrie Irving, Barnes and Nobles. We're talking about Charles Barkley, because Charles Barkley has been in the news here as of late. Everybody wants to interview and talk to Charles Barkley, this stepping and fetch it Negro. Everybody wants to interview him. He was on Don Lemon news show the other day, and I tweeted Don Lemon quite naturally. I know I wasn't going to hear anything back from it, but I sent him something that we had put together. And Don Lemon, quite naturally, him and the two women on there, nobody responded, excuse me. And Barkley was on Chris Cuomo's show last night, and he was pushing the narrative that maybe Barkley should run for some type of office. And I sent a tweet to him to let him know that Barkley would be the same as Herschel Walker, or perhaps worse. You know what I'm saying? I mean, both of those guys are very, they're ignorant. illiterate, and inarticulate is the word that I'm looking for. So it would not necessarily be a plus for Barkley to run for anything. I don't even know how I know how he stays on television. I know how he stays on television. I think we all do. So we're talking about his trifling ass today. We're talking about the ADL white supremacist group. And we're talking about yours truly coming back for a third run, that being that of Donald Trump. So, yeah, we are going to have a good show today. To my understanding, it's like cold all over the nation, man. Like currently, right now, I'm not in LA. I'm in Atlanta, and man, it has been like freezing here, man. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Well, I won't necessarily say that, because this actually is my favorite time of the year. You know, I could have this type of weather year round. Really, truly, I could. Although as I've gotten older, my body aches a little more. You know, it's kind of like, it feels like shit, ice is in my bones at times. But, you know, once everything thaws out and I warm up, I'm good. So, I'm actually enjoying the weather, and I think each day the Most High gives me on this side, I actually enjoy that better. Okay. And my first love, I have to be completely honest, family, is to get up and to do the podcast, to talk about tangible issues. And let me just throw this out here. Let me add this, because next week we go to the podcast where you actually will be able to, we'll be in the studio and you'll be able to see us, me and my team, excellent team I have. You'll be able to see us. We also have some special guests coming up. I'm going to be interviewing some people. One of my homegirls from Montgomery, Alabama, like me, Christina Blue. She has a show that she's doing. She's talking about many issues pertaining to men and women relationships. We're going to bring her on the Chris Miles show. And hey man, I'm gonna pick her brain. You know, she had put something on TikTok that I thought was really interesting. She was actually talking about women sleeping with various men and how it throws off their pH balance. Like, you know, women out there fucking, you know, Tom, Dick, and Joe. You know, they women will get older from that. And one of the things that I have come to know is that those things that you see women go through when their pH balance is thrown off, when they sleeping with various men, this is against the laws of nature. That's why that happens. You understand what I'm saying? Everything that the Most High does, it fits within the system that he has put in place. So that's why that happens. But we're going to bring Christina on next week. You know, maybe in the studio or however we decide to do it. And we're going to ask her about her show, promote what she's doing, and let her just basically, you know, explain some things. I also got the Revolution, Prince Old Band coming up. Jerome Benton. I got several people, man, that we're gonna bring on. We got some politicians we're gonna bring on. We're still in the midterms. Where I am now in Atlanta, you know, they're getting ready for Herschel Walker and Warnock is suiting up for. I think it's December the 8th. This runoff. We're gonna be talking about how probably episode 45 how the state of Georgia came up with this thing here. I don't have the information in front of me, but there was a guy, a candidate, a racist actually, that actually changed the system there in Georgia. So if the person did not get 50%, then it would go to a runoff. And there's some significant information that ties to that, why all of that is. We're not going to let that cat out the bag today, but we're going to be talking about the person that came up with that bullshit and why he came up with it. And what's crazy about it is that it is still on the books today. All right. Is there anything else I need to bring up? Let me just check something. Oh, let me just say this. What I'm actually getting ready to do is I'm going to play a clip. I'm going to play a clip that Jason Whitlock, and I've always been, I want to say, critical of Jason Whitlock, but you know, Jason Whitlock has come out and he has really been beating the drum for that of Kyrie Irving, man. I mean, I am just very excited about this guy. Is kind of like myself. He's not releasing the topic. Like, you know, you got Shannon Sharp and all of these other guys that came out here, man. Like, they really want to pivot from the conversation of this shit what happened to Kyrie Irving. Like, nobody really wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to talk about it. It's like, let's move on to, you know, something else, some other topics and that kind of thing. And he's basically keeping the conversation going, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. Like I say, this is something that really needs to happen. But we're going to play it's about a 6-minute clip of Jason Whitlock going in on Shannon Sharp and Stephen A. and why he really don't trust these guys. And that is the thing what I've talked about, and I feel honored at this point, because what people have to understand is I'm not the only person out there who's lock in step with keeping these people honest. And let me just say this. I have been one of Candace Owens' biggest critics. Okay? And she has come out, and believe it or not, Candace Owens is lock in step with me, Jason Whitlock, and there are a few more other out there that have shows like we do that are talking about the intangibles pertaining to what is going on out here. So we're going to go into the show, and I'm going to play this clip by, hopefully it comes in good. I'm where I am right now. I'm kind of limited with the technology that I have, but we're going to make the best out of it. Like I said, we will be back in the studio where the cameras and all of that stuff is in, and you guys will be able to, you know, take part in it. Oh, let me give the phone number out. The phone number is 844-481-0200. 844-481-0200. Instagram and Facebook, my handles are I am Chris Miles. Once again, Facebook, Instagram, my handles are I am Chris Miles. Twitter, TikTok, @ I'm Chris Miles. Okay? So, you all can go there and, you know, get like, the producers are actually putting snippets of the show and various things on those, social media conglomerates. Hold on, let me see here. I was reading something. Oh, let me just share this with everybody too. Just in case you all don't know, a young black gentleman has introduced a new social media platform. That's right. With all of the stuff all of the restrictions that Facebook puts you under and all of this other stuff that has been going on, a black guy has come out with something, with a new social media app. And I'm going to give you all that information so you all can support this brother and go out and it works similar. It's like a combination between Twitter and Facebook. It's like although you can follow people on there, whatever is post, if I post something, you still see it, even if you're not following me. So it gives you the option to be able to go out there and you might like something I put out there. It gives you the option to follow me or just, to read it, because it kind of goes into the same setting, and whatever I post, whatever you post, people are able to read it. So the name of the app is We Kinfolks. And this is a new social media conglomerate. It was designed by a young black guy. I don't actually have his name in front of me. I did have it this morning. When I came here, I left a lot of my shit, my notes and that kind of thing. So I apologize for that. But yeah, you all can go Google it, and I can too. But the app is called We Kinfolks is what it's called. And some people from East India have come up with something similar to Twitter, which is called Koo. Koo. So there you have it. There you go. People of color are getting in the social media situation or conglomerate, and they're coming up with apps, and they're doing various things, man, to interact with their people. I have set up profiles on actually We Kinfolks, which I recommend everybody's hearing my voice, you go do. And also I set one up on Koo. Now the one Koo gives you the option to, in various languages, whatever language you are familiar with or you're fluent in, it gives you the opportunity to select that and it's like Tweet, it's just that platform is like Twitter, and We Kinfolks is a combination between Twitter and Facebook. Okay, so y'all go check them out. Let's go into the show. So, once again, everybody, it's a pleasure to be here with you all. I am Chris Miles. This is the Chris Miles Show. This is episode 44. Like I said, I'm trying to bring up this clip. Okay, here we go. I'm going to bring up a clip of Jason Whitlock. He went in on Stephen A. and all of these various people who called for the suspension of Kyrie-Irving. So we're going to go into that. We're going to play the clip, and then I'm going to come back with my comments on it. It's about 6 minutes, so y'all just sit back, enjoy the ride, and that kind of thing. And I'm going to come with my commentary after that, and we'll go from there, okay? Let's see if we can this thing up. All right, here we go.
Rig, that's how you know they have puppet masters. Because they're all saying the same thing. They're all pivoting at the same time. This is why I don't trust any of them. That's why I don't respect them. Steve, I'm going to bring a couple of guys into this conversation, Shannon Sharpe and Stephen A. Smith. I want to play you some clips. This is what from Shannon Sharpe and Stephen A. Smith. Let's start with Stephen A. being critical of Kyrie-Irving. Let's start there. Let's play that clip. Stephen A. initially being critical of Kyrie-Irving.
The Jewish community gets to define what is anti-Semitic, what is offensive to them. They get to do that. In his world, he's saying no, that's not true, because y'all ain't the real ones, we are. But then doesn't want to back it up when people are challenging him on it. Why? Because he knows what we don't know.
Yeah.
Now, let's play Stephen A. after the flip-flop that social media backlash has caused. Stephen A. is singing a completely different tune. Let's play that clip.
America, don't think I have not noticed what you have done. Kyrie-Irving, minimum 5 games. Ime Udoka, minimum 1 year suspension. Usually when there's a suspension, there's an end date. I'm seeing 2 black men here that's got the word indefinite attached to their exiles. I don't like that. That is inconsistent with what we have customarily seen transpire in the world of sports. So when 2 brothers mess up, it's got indefinite attached to it. But if it's anybody else, you get a definitive point which is suspended and or you're fired and you're free to go work elsewhere, whatever the case may be. But in these cases, you got indefinite attached to them where their futures are left dangling. What are y'all trying to say?
Now, let's go to the other minstrel show over on Fox Sports. Let's play Shannon Sharp, his original thoughts on Kyrie Irving.
You know, you harmed a group of people. They are offended by what you said because you entitled all of them. So you're under the assumption. I don't know how many Jewish people are in America. 8 million, 10 million, 12 million, 13. I don't know, 20. So you said an entire race of people, not 1 or 2. Entire race of people is bad. Now, if they said 40 million blacks, the entire race of bad, evil, is responsible for this, we lose our mind.
Yes.
Hold on, he did that. Why I got a better brother for what he did?
You should lose your mind. Yep. The point here is nobody has any problem with Kyrie upholding African American history and legacy and heritage.
Yes.
And that was the thrust of what he was trying to do.
Right.
Unfortunately,
Yes, sir,
it's
Bob.
at the
Yes,
expense
sir.
of
Right.
several religious or cultural groups.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir,
I got
Skip.
no problem
Yes,
with
sir.
that. I'm as unapologetically black as they come.
Agreed.
I will support mine.
Yes.
But I also will call out mine when they're wrong.
Yes, sir, Skip. I will support mine, but I will cause miles too, boss. Yes, sir. That's Shannon Sharp. Skip. Before he gets bashed by Dr. Umar Johnson, he gets bashed by Louis Farrakhan. But before any of that, he got bashed by me. And now let's listen to Shannon Sharp.
Because when blacks have a misstep, it seems like we suffer the harshest penalties. It seems like other groups offend blacks, and they never suffer the penalty that Kyrie and Kanye have suffered. Some of us, a large portion of us, is that blacks are bound by shackles. We're held more accountable for our actions and our words, where our counterparts are with cobwebs. They're easily brushed aside. Shannon, he apologized. He or she said they were sorry. Why can't we get the same benefit of the doubt? Okay. Kyrie was wrong, but I believe Kyrie was wrong, but I also can believe the punishment was excessive.
These guys all get the same talking points. That's how you know it's rigged. That's how you know they have puppet masters. Because they're all saying the same thing. They're all pivoting at the same time. This is why I don't trust any of them. That's why I don't respect them, particularly as it relates to Shannon Sharp. I do have tiny bits of respect left for Stephen A. Smith, but I just can't take it. They're all attached to puppet strings. You can say this, but you can't say this. Oh, now you can say this. And now they get out there and they want their black cards back. They're inauthentic. It's a scam. This thing was so clear from day one as it relates to Kyrie and Kanye. It was a total overreaction. And anybody...
Okay, people. Now, I am truly glad that somebody that I never would have thought or thunk it stepped up to bat for Ye and that of Kyrie Irving. Because I have been out here for the longest talking about this subject matter. And I'm so glad that Jason Whitlock has said what he said. Because I said the same damn thing, is that Stephen A., Shannon Sharp lost their black card. You cannot go anywhere anymore and hold up anything pertaining to black people. And it's so sad because these are the Negroes who have ingratiated themselves into a system that don't work. Now, what I want everybody to understand, with all of the stuff that you all see going on, with Ye and Kyrie-Irving, Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp were the two biggest components advocating for these guys' suspension, advocating that they be silenced, advocating that they be done away with. Them and Charles Barkley, which is why we're going to talk about Charles today on the Chris Miles Show. Stephen A. and Shannon Sharp are true hoes. And I'm saying it because it needs to be said. And I have been marking them in the same shape, form, and fashion that Jason Whitlock has. And even Candace Owens have come out and spoke. Somebody that you wouldn't never guesstimate in a million years have come out and said something. But the straw that broke the camel's back was that of Minister Louis Farrakhan. And them simple niggas, and I'm using the N word, they realized at that point that we fucked up. We fucked up. And we got to do something to get our black card back. And I'm telling you, Shannon Sharp, Stephen A., and you inarticulate, ignorant, illiterate bastard, you, Charles Barkley, who I despise, you, Barkley, you, Shannon Sharp, and Stephen A., you can't come back to the hood. Y'all card has been snatched and you can't get it back. We are sick of individuals like you. You all don't speak for the black community. And still, one of the reasons why I'm saying you don't speak for the black community, Kyrie-Irving still, as it stands today, is out of work. All of the things that you all have seen from what Kyrie-Irving, from a fucking tweet, this guy has lost shoe contracts. He's not being paid. He has to go meet with a white supremacist group, which is the fucking ADL. And you niggas sit back and don't say a fucking thing, man. Nothing. And you all want people to believe that you all are really for the black community. This is asinine, man. And some of us in the black community who have been in the black community, we are sick of you. That's what this tempting's out to. We're sick of you. So a part of Adam Silver and the guy that owns the Nets, the Brooklyn Nets, want Kyrie to go meet with a white supremacist group who only targets black people to denounce the film, and he can come back to play. And this is why we're bringing in the thing with Barnes and Noble. Barnes and Noble has taken, but from the pressure of the ADL and skeptics, they have taken down the book, because they didn't have the movie, but they've removed the book, excuse me. They have removed the book, Hebrews to Negroes, off of their website and out of their stores. So, all because the people in the ADL have come out and said that it was anti-Semitic. Now, this is, excuse me, this is what I have to say. This is what I have to say. As many of you all may know, I did Fed Time, okay? And I posted this on TikTok, and it got taken down. So I'm going to talk about it on my goddamn podcast, because you can't take it down. But as many of you all know, I did Fed Time. And all of the individuals that were in the federal system, 80% of these Jewish men that were in there, they were in there because they were pedophiles. That's a fact. So you're telling Kyrie-Irving that Kyrie-Irving must go meet with individuals who have this mindset. And I put this shit on TikTok, and TikTok took it down. So the pressure must have came from someone within the Jewish community. So they want to go out here and say, well, people are anti-Semitic, and we go out here and we're in fear of our life. I'm in fear of my kids' life when I see somebody like you. And I know you don't like what I'm saying, but guess what? I don't like what the fuck you all have been doing. So it's fair swap, no swindle. That's what it is. It's fair swap, no goddamn swindle. And like I said, Barnes and Noble have removed the book completely out of their setting. And I've been following this shit. What's his name? The guy with the ADL has been applying pressure to Amazon, and Jeff Bezos like, man, fuck you. We ain't taking shit down. We ain't removing nothing. We ain't apologizing. Guess why? Because he's getting money off of it. And nobody from the white community has came and told or said anything about Jeff Bezos apologizing. Why the fuck Kyrie-Irving got to apologize? He has not said, I'm taking the shit off the goddamn platform. He ain't said shit. But everybody is up in arms about that. Kyrie-Irving got to apologize. And I keep coming back to this. Black people, do you all not see what the fuck this is, man? The scripture saying in Ecclesiastes 7:7, surely, and I'm paraphrasing, surely oppression make a wise man angry. So that means if you're seeing this shit and you're not angry, you're not wise. That's what we are at this point. These people have stacked the chips against that of Kyrie-Irving. They have stacked the chips against that of Kyrie-Irving. Why have they done that? Why have they stacked the chips against Kyrie-Irving? Because guess what they know and realize? They know and realize that nobody in the black community stands for anything. That's what they realize. Nobody in the black community stands for anything. And as long as nobody in the black community is standing for anything tangible, we can fuck over the black community. And that is what you see happening right now. That's what you see happening right now. And it's not going to change. It is not going to change because, as Jason Whitlock so eloquently said and pointed out, look what Stephen A. did. Look what Shannon Sharp did. These individuals got out here and beat the drum to get this man suspended. He's suspended. He's out of work. Nobody's came and said anything about this man coming back to play ball. Now, from my understanding, he's supposed to possibly come back this coming Sunday. He's supposed to come back. But even that's not guaranteed. He apologized, but the apology wasn't good enough. So because the apology wasn't good enough, he still remains suspended and has to meet with the ADL, and the pressure from the Jewish community, the ADL, and the Stephen A. Smiths, the Shannon Sharps, and the Charles Barkleys of this world have not came out and basically fought to change or to make something wrong right. And these are the stool pigeons that we have in the black community. And like Jason Whitlock said, now we're at a point where they have to pivot. You can't pivot. You know why? Because individuals like me standing at the gate with the bat. And we ain't letting you back through. You stay over there where the fuck you went to, and good luck to you. That's what this is. And for as Barnes and Nobles is concerned, and I used to get I would order my books, a lot of my books, off of Barnes and Noble website. Fuck you. I'm not ordering shit from Barnes and Nobles anymore. And I suggest other black people who have seen this onslaught of bullshit stacked against a man who did not come out and say a fucking thing or do anything. Sent out a goddamn tweet, who has had to travel the fucking globe and apologize, out of work without pay, and the people who have these platforms ain't said shit, ain't did anything to rectify if it's a wrong. They have done anything to rectify it. They ain't had to apologize. They ain't taking the shit off it like I'm talking about Jeff Bezos. But Kyrie-Irving is held to a standard, and you got these stepping and fetching Negroes like Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp out here beating the drum that this man was supposed to be suspended. And Shannon Sharp, you inarticulate bastard, you got out here and said Kyrie-Irving was wrong. How and where was he wrong at? And this is the other thing. These guys make good money. But instead of Shannon Sharp setting up some type of some form of industry or some type of business where can employ black people, since you so adamantly concerned and you love the black community, I don't see no goddamn industry. But what did you do? You go set up a fucking cognac company to sell liquor to your people, knowing that liquor, alcohol, and drugs have been one of the biggest downfalls in the black community. So instead of all this shit you go out here and talk about, you are no different than the people that beat down the black community. Why? Because you're doing the same shit that they're doing. You're doing it out in public, and you're doing it behind the scenes. That's what this is. So, just so everybody know, Barnes & Noble have taken down or taken the book Hebrews to Negroes off of the shelves. You can't order it. You can't order it. You can't go into the store and purchase, which is fine because Amazon has it, and as far as I know, Books A Million have it. And let me just say this in closing on this particular topic. What I find real interesting about all of that is this. The ADL, the white supremacy group, And I'm not saying this is indicative of the entire Jewish community, but a large, substantial number of them will get mad when black people come out and say, hey, wait a minute, the blacks in America, we are the real Jews. They get mad about that. But I don't see them saying shit. If a black man come out and say, I'm transgender, or I'm a part of the LGBTQ community, or I'm Muslim, or I'm Buddhist, or I'm Chinese, they don't open their fucking mouths. But when it comes to saying I am the real Jew, and they have the receipt to back it up, it's an issue. And then they send out their stool pigeons, being that of Shannon Sharp and Stephen A. and Charles Barkley, to tear down that. And those Negroes are paid substantially well with fiat money, debt instruments, a promise to pay to go against their people. I say this and to everybody that's hearing my voice. Black people, wake the fuck up. And try to do it within the next 12 hours. We don't need 24, we need 12. You understand? This is a sense of urgency. So they want to take the book completely out of circulation so you cannot find it. But all you got to do is read your Bible. And they, from my understanding, even they trying to take the Bible out of circulation. They want to do away with it. But if you're going to read the Bible, make sure you get the KJV version, King James version. It's the most accurate Bible to read. And there are other books out there that we will highlight on the next episode of the Chris Miles Show. Okay? So I encourage you to do the research. You can Google a lot of this information. It's out there. And black people have the receipts. And what they're trying to do is do away with the receipts. And they're using the likes of Stephen A., Charles Barkley, and Shannon Sharp to make sure that the receipts, or hopefully do away with the receipts. But you know what? People like Jason Whitlock, even Candace Owens, myself, and other people out there have been beating this drum, and we're beating the shit out of it. Okay? So, this is where we are today, moving forward. On the subject matter, we want to talk about that of Charles Barkley. Okay? Charles Barkley is from the state of Alabama. I'm from the state of Alabama. Charles Barkley has said some very disparaging things about Kyrie Irving. Okay? Very nasty things about that of Kyrie Irving.
USAA Bank.
Okay? I mean, it is horrible what he has said about that of Kyrie Irving. And like I say, what we're trying to do here, what we're actually trying to do here is hold those accountable. People like Charles Barkley. Because they need to be held accountable for the things that they say. I'm going to bring up another clip where Charles Barkley was on what I was talking about at the beginning of coming into the program. He was on the morning show with Don Lemon. And Charles Barkley said some nasty things about Kyrie Irving. Now, he's not necessarily going into some of the things. He is like Jason Whitlock has said. Now we're starting to see a backtrack. It's like there's a apology tour since Farrakhan has come out. And let me say this. These sellouts read the comments on that of social media. They do. And we live in a world today that people are so up in arms about things that they will step to you and they will hurt you in the process. Those are times we live in. We saw it with that of Speaker Pelosi's husband. I mean, we are dealing with crazy people out there in society. And it's because society have made people crazy. And when you have a platform, and even me, you have to be careful what you say and who told you step on. Because people out there are crazy. And they will hold you accountable. But let's go into this shit as far as what Charles Barkley said. Let's go into that.
Speech, but there are repercussions when you say certain things. Listen, I don't know Kyrie Irving. I don't know if he's a good guy or a bad guy. I think he's been suspended, rightfully so, and I think he should come back and play in the NBA. But, you know, that's a really slippery slope because, you know, people always talk about freedom of speech, freedom of effect, or you say whatever you want to, but there are repercussions. I mean, and he's paying for that right now, but this thing with free speech has really gotten out of hand, Don. I mean, you just can't go around insulting people and think it's okay just because it's freedom of speech.
Well, people say, well, listen, if I don't get to say what I say, it's cancel culture. And I don't know if you probably do not agree with that.
You know, I don't like use the term council culture because I don't want anybody counsel. But you should be called to the carpet if you said something wrong. You know, I don't believe somebody should lose their job or things like that. But you just...
Let me just say this. Enough of that shit with this fucking imbecile Charles Barkley. Now, this shows you that Charles Barkley is an idiot. He's illiterate. Charles Barkley just said that Kyrie Irving should have been suspended. But do you not know, Charles Barkley, when somebody is suspended, they have been counseled. They have been silenced. You just said that this man should be suspended for a fucking tweet. You have said all type of outlandish shit. No one has ever counseled you, man. I mean, people make this shit make sense, man. This non-talking bastard, Charles Barkley, said this man, no one should be counseled. But he got out here and said Kyrie Irving should be suspended. Kyrie Irving didn't get out and say nothing. He posted a fucking tweet. Do you all not see what these people are doing, man? They go get the most inarticulate, illiterate motherfucker, and they put the motherfucker on TV and we're supposed to follow them. Charles Barkley couldn't lead me to my goddamn mailbox with a fucking $1 million check in it, and I know the goddamn directions to it. Man, this is sad. This is sad. Let me continue.
You should be called out if you said something stupid. Hey, I've been called out many times. I have no problem with that. But I hate the term cancel culture because very few people are canceled. Let's be honest and realistic.
They sort of are forcing him to apologize, but what if these are his real beliefs? Should they be dealing with that as well? Maybe they have someone who actually believes these things. I'm not saying it's right. Instead of forcing him to apologize, maybe they should be dealing with that part of it.
So Charles Barkley would be right. You have freedom of speech, not freedom of consequence.
Okay. So let me just put everybody up on something. Since everybody is up in arms about what Kyrie said, what Kyrie did, and this is about Charles Barkley. So we're going to focus on Charles Barkley, what he said. Charles Barkley, let me tell you something, man. Anything that is constitutional, like if you go out here and you violate my constitutional right, I have a right to hold you accountable for that in any court of law. Kyrie has a right to sue for this. That's what people don't realize. Kyrie has a right to fucking sue the ADL, Charles Barkley, and everybody else who has come out and violated this man's constitutional right. That's why I don't get on here, man, and play these stepping and fetching games with these dumbass individuals like Charles Barkley and the rest of these dumbass niggas out here who don't know shit. The time I spent in federal prison, I spent that time learning all of the intangibles, all of the things that was of pertinency that I needed to learn. That's what I did. You understand? I learned the fucking system. How is it all of a sudden now, white people back in the day called us niggas, tar and feathered us, did all type of things under the sun that was wrong. They wasn't counseled. But now a black man sent out a fucking tweet and you got Negroes like Charles Barkley said that he's wrong and should be held accountable. Well, guess what, Charles Barkley? Kyrie Irving under the Constitution of the United States would still stand under the organic Constitution of the United States. He has a right to say and or tweet what he wants to, and the Constitution is there to protect unpopular speech. And if you have an issue with it or you do something to infringe on that, he has the right to sue you for that. No one is talking about that. But I'm talking about it on the Chris Miles show because people need to know. Everything that we have gotten pertaining to the system out here and the people running government is a fucking lie, man. That's what people have to understand. And I know you don't like what the fuck I'm saying, but the fact remains. Charles Barkley got on NBA on TNT and said that this man should be suspended, that he's taking Adam Silver's money. He's not taking a fucking thing from Adam Silver. Adam Silver is a commission, you dumb fuck you. And the NBA has a fucking union. They're unionized. So that means Adam Silver has a guideline that he has to fucking follow. He can't go there and force Kyrie Irving to go meet with some fucking white supremacist group Because they didn't like what the fuck he tweeted or said. But Charles Barkley's been out here beating that fucking drum, man. And then you got people like Don Lemon. You got people like Chris Cuomo, who are bringing this illiterate bastard Barkley on with his non-talking ass. And he's just making himself look like a fucking fool, man. But you know what? The powers that be love Charles Barkley, but they hate a motherfucker like me. You know why? Because you ain't finna oil me up and fuck me. Charles Barkley, you can do that. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do to him. He's lock and step with it. But you have to give me death before dishonor. We are in a sad scenario dealing with these individuals, man. It's sad. And the fact of the matter is they keep the Charles Barkleys, the Stephen A. Smiths, the Shannon Sharps out there. And these guys have an agenda. And their agenda is the people that they work for. And they got to keep some form of black man out there so the shit doesn't look like truly what it is. It's bias. They keep these Negroes out there, and guess what? This is what it is. So the book has a lot of relevancy to it because it says from Hebrews to Negroes. And from Hebrews to Negroes, meaning that once upon a time we were king, and then we end up with in a situation, or we were king, we end up as Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharp, Charles Barkley, and there's a what's the other guy? Al Sharpton. There's a list of guys that went from Hebrews to Negroes, and I just called them out. That's what this is. Now, to the ADL, this guy, Jonathan Greenblatt. This is the guy that is beating the drum because he doesn't want black people to know that they are the people of the book. We have some information we want to share. Let me pull this up. Let me get to it. It says this is coming from a guy by the name Rabbi Harry Rosenberg, who's also Jewish. He said, I'm quoting, "I would rather Kyrie come sit with me, not the ADL. This is the redemption unfolding. This is the tribe waking up. The ADL isn't built for this conversation. They went to Jewish people to say this European Jew, say this European Jew will allow something together amongst selective converts. But you guys have nothing to do with this. Don't even touch it with a 10-foot pole. And if you do, you're going to lose your money, your job. You may even get banned from social media. They're like a bully in the room that doesn't allow healthy conversation to happen. I'll say it. The ADL can't call me anti-Semitic and they can't counsel me." Rabbi Harry Rosenberg. Now, this is coming from a rabbi, a Jewish rabbi. Guess what? We on the Chris Miles show don't have a problem with this guy because he's honest. You all look him up. His name is Rabbi Harry Rosenberg. The NBA, Adam Silver, Yuri Emanuel, I think that's how his name is said. This other guy out here, Jonathan Greenblatt, these guys are pushing the notion that Kyrie-Irving meet with the ADL. Minister Louis Farrakhan said that the ADL brought him in to try to make him denounce a book that was written by somebody within the nation. He said, I can't do that. This is what the apology tour is all about. Hold on. Okay. This is what the apology tour is all about. Rabbi Rosenberg has clearly said that Kyrie needs to come meet with him and not the ADL. So there's infighting within the Jewish community. There's infighting. See if I can find this here. And this is why I'm saying the chickens are now coming home to roost. So we are trying to, bear with me for a second.
And so one of my friends tweeted him. Amari tweeted right back. It was something.
Okay, let's pull this up.
Hebrews to Negroes and everything. But let's talk a little bit about you, if we could. Could you introduce yourself, if that's okay? And you're live from Jerusalem, right?
Correct. I'm in Jerusalem right now.
Right. So talk about everything that you do there. I was looking at your bio. You do so much amazing work. So just let the people know everything that you do.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Born and raised Queens, New York. Went to public school. Joined my ancestral religious identity later on in life when I joined yeshiva. Started studying Torah. Out of the gates, I became a social entrepreneur. So I founded an online university teaching theology. And I got a farm in Israel where we're practicing sustainable living and healing to restore people to their ancestral way of thinking. A healthier way than we're currently living in America 2022. And I'm trying to just push forward the agenda of my ancestors of world peace and a global ingathering of the tribes of Israel right now. That's where I found sanity in my mind.
Now, I was reading about your connection with Amari Stoudemire before we get into everything. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. Very simple relationship. My friends, we were very interested in him. When he started talking about being from the House of Israel, we were very excited by the idea of this unity between these two communities. And so one of my friends tweeted him. Amari tweeted right back. It was something about biblical prophecy, and that's how you got Amari's attention back then. And, he tweeted back. And he was just like, listen, I'm down to study. Let's build. I want to see what's going on. So we got together in New York City. We started studying some Torah together. And he's a very spiritual person. So he was just interested in as much Torah as he could study. So my relationship with him for the last 10 years is just strictly Torah study, and he's got now dozens and dozens of Torah study rabbis and partners from all spectrums. He's studying everything he can. So for me, I enjoyed the intellectual pursuit, working with him, learning from him, us learning together from our sages. And we kept it spiritual since day one.
That's great. And I also saw that you took the Marleys on a tour of Jerusalem. Can you tell me about that too?
Well, we were definitely there for a tour together, and the Marleys identify and believe in the spiritual system of, he could be going to the clubs and partying and doing all the hedonistic things the American lifestyle tries to promote. Right. And yet he's trying to get to the bottom of what's going on in reality. So that's
I'm looking for a certain particular clip pertaining to this Rosenberg on the anti-Semitism of Kyrie Irving, this suspension. But the guy that you hear speaking is the guy who's in opposition to the ADL, the white supremacist group. Let me see here. Maybe. But this particular guy, Rosenberg, is not condoning the treatment of what has happened to Kyrie Irving. See, is this it?
Connect all the dots and to show there's no smoke without a fire.
And I hear you saying they love it and they're embracing it, but I haven't heard it.
So I have to come and explain to them what's really going on.
But anyway, we will try to get that particular clip. It's not coming up. Nevertheless, this guy here, Harry Rosenberg, is demanding that Kyrie Irving meets with him versus the ADL. And like I said, the ADL is all about canceling the real Hebrews. And I don't know if anybody watched the show, the Saturday Night Live show this past weekend, where they had Dave Chappelle on there. Well, Dave Chappelle did not say anything that was outlandish, but yet the ADL took issue with that. They took flight with it, and they want to cancel Dave Chappelle now. And this is what I had said in shows of past. These people only come after black people. What's the issue? What's the problem? Why are you so worried about black people? This guy, the ADL, I thought that the Jewish community didn't like Nazis. Well, Adidas, or who people is pronounced as Adidas, the company was started by Nazis. The history is still there. The history is still there. And what's crazy about it is that this guy contacted Adidas and told them to cancel Kyrie. Also, they contacted Nike and got Nike to drop Kyrie. This is what the white supremacist group, the ADL, is doing. They're a radical group. So what Kyrie and some of these other black folks should do is file a lawsuit against this white supremacist group. Take their ass in the federal court and make them prove it. Sue them. File a lawsuit. There are attorneys out there that'll take the goddamn case against this white supremacist group. That's what they are. And like I said, I did time in federal prison. All of the guys that was in there that I knew was Jewish, I got into it with a couple of them. They were pedophiles. They were in there for molesting kids or having sex with them. This ain't no lie. These are the facts. These are the facts. Where's the ADL on that? Huh? Is that anti-Semitic too? Because I get on my show and I put out facts about that? Huh? I know how to file paperwork, I tell you. I know how to do it very well. And I'm saying all of that to simply say this. Some of these guys who have been wronged by this white supremacist group, you should learn how to file paperwork. Or come talk to somebody that knows how to file the paperwork. And hold their ass accountable. Because if somebody puts something out there that goes against the Constitution of the United States, that's protected under the Constitution, you can hold them accountable. The court of law is only there to uphold contract law. That's what the courts are for. The Constitution supersedes contract law. This is what people don't know. We're going to start talking about these things here on the show, because these things are relevant, very relevant. We have been harassed and taken advantage of. So somebody go out here and wrong you in the wrong way, hold them accountable. And something we could do collectively, since a white supremacist group is behind getting black people counsel, well, the ones that they're going to, Adidas, Nike, NBA, black people don't spend your money there. Let's have a freeze, a ban, a cancellation of their asses by not spending money with them. Because at the end of the day, it all trickles down to the money. When they want to hurt you, what they go after? The money. They ain't out there marching with that Al Sharpton bullshit in the streets. No justice, no peace. They ain't out there with that bullshit. They go directly at the money. But what you simple Negroes do, you go find Al Sharpton and the rest of them guys been doing the same dumb shit the last 50 fucking years and getting the same dumb ass results. And nothing comes out of it that's good for the community. These people go directly after the money, and your shit in a day, in fucking 18 hours, your shit is over with. Niggas march for eternity and shit don't never change. 50 years and you still getting your ass whooped. You still begging, ain't got shit accomplished. Fuck out of here, man. So I'm asking the question, when does the dynamics of this bullshit change? The ADL is a white supremacist group, man. They ain't who they say they are. That is the notion that people have to understand and deal with. That's what this is. This is where we are. Yours truly, Donald Trump, is back. Donald Trump yes, Donald Trump is back. Or should we say he has never left? He's coming back for a third run. As he said at his speech, he did not complete the job, as he's only one term. And he's the only president to be impeached twice. Okay. But he's come back. He's running again. And he is getting a shitload of opposition now. Yes. He's getting a lot of opposition this trip around. Like, he got out here, Kerry Lake, and these people, the election was stolen and all this other shit that they ran on and all this other stuff. Come to find out, the people rejected that notion. If Donald Trump was so strong, like he was initially, he could go right down there to the state of Georgia, and Herschel Walker, who encouraged Herschel Walker to run for Senate, the state of Georgia, could go right down there, and he could help him possibly get elected as the next senator of the state of Georgia. I'm in the state of Georgia, so pertaining to the state of Georgia, he could help him get elected. But Donald Trump is wounded, and people are tired of his rhetoric. See, when you're out here doing shit, and as they say, it's fun while it lasted and all this other stuff, it's fun while it lasted. It ain't fun no more. You know why it's not fun anymore? Because Donald Trump will possibly be indicted. The people in the Republican Party realize that. Okay? The ones that supported him before. The people that supported Donald Trump before realize a couple of things too. The people that he encouraged based off a tweet. And let me just say this. Let me tell you what's so funny about this tweet shit, right? Donald Trump sent out a fucking tweet. Yeah, he sent out a tweet and got people to D.C. to overthrow the government based off a tweet. Kyrie-Irving didn't cause any form of insurrection against nobody. The young man was searching for his identity. And in the process, he felt like he had come across some tangible information. He sent out this tweet, and he was counseled. Donald Trump sent out a tweet to overthrow the government of the United States. And he's coming back to run for president a third time. And if not indicted, could possibly win the presidency. And all this shit is based off a tweet. We have a thing on the Chris Miles show where we say, make it make sense. And this is what I'm telling you about. Black people are held to a different standard than white folks. And this is what I'm talking about. White supremacy, white privilege is white supremacy. That's what it is. But the people in the Republican Party who's now starting to turn against Donald Trump realize, wait a minute, this guy is pushing white supremacy. And although we're white supremacists, we can't look like white supremacists. So we need to deviate from the white supremacy notion and put somebody, although a white supremacist, that's less likely to look like a white supremacist. That is the mindset of the white supremacist. That's what we're dealing with. So people are starting to backtrack or move away from Donald Trump. And the shit is so overwhelming is that, like, Donald Trump's daughter, Ivanka, said, you know what? I can't do this shit again, man. With all of the shit that has been tied to the stuff that has happened and all this stuff, I can't go through this shit with you again. It's troublesome. It's tiresome. Now, we haven't heard anything from Eric and Donald Jr., but as far as where we are right now, this is where we are. This is where we are. Donald Trump hadn't gone on an apology tour. No one has came out and said, well, Donald Trump need to come out and apologize for this. For the tweet. But this man has come out and said that his quest to make America great again, I'm coming back to run a third time. After being impeached twice, under criminal investigation, this man is coming back to run a third time. And to be quite honest about it, the Republican Party really has nobody that's of standards to run against him right now, because they seem as soft. The only somebody that could possibly be a challenger to Donald Trump is Ron DeSantis. And Trump is pissed off about that. And one of the things what people were doing, this is why I don't do politics and I'm against it, is because people in politics are wherever the wind blows. Now, people realize that the folks that Donald Trump was supporting didn't do very well. All of the people that had aligned themselves with them, the majority of them lost. So Donald Trump is not a credible person when it comes to putting your eggs in that basket. It's not. It's not good. But he's still the strongest person out there. I don't have an issue with Donald Trump. I don't. I think Donald Trump is the typical white guy here that understands government and understands his white privilege. And he uses it and plays it to the best of his ability. So if anybody person would come out there and tell you that there's a false notion of white supremacy, I say simply look at Donald Trump. Let's weigh Donald Trump's situation and let's weigh Kyrie Irving's situation. Or better yet, we could take Brett Favre's situation and we could take Kyrie Irving's situation. Who has been punished more harshly? If you take Donald Trump and Brett Favre, who are friends, and each one of them, their situation, their story, and they support each other. So you take Donald Trump and Brett Favre, and let's take Kyrie Irving. And Kyrie Irving has been treated more harshly and persecuted worse than Donald Trump and Brett Favre combined. And all he didn't say shit, didn't take nothing, didn't do nothing. He sent out a tweet. Donald Trump allies brought a noose to hang the vice president, Michael Pence, in the middle of Washington, D.C. to send a message that we were taking back our country. He sent out a tweet to overthrow the very government that he took an oath to protect against foreign and domestic terrorism. Yet he turned out to be a goddamn terrorist himself. And he's coming back to run a third time. Elon Musk purchased Twitter to put him back on Twitter. I don't know if he's back on it or not, but I'm just saying. Let's look at the accountability situation here, and let's weigh the narrative and see what this is and how this thing is played out. I just say make it make sense, because it doesn't make any sense, people. It doesn't make any sense. We are in a sad state of affairs, people. We are. And it's so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate. And in the process, it's so wrong. But we're going to keep the conversation going here on the Chris Miles Show. I want everybody to enjoy their weekend. Take care of themselves. We are back here Monday, episode 45. The producers will put together the content and they'll give it to me and I'll run with it. I want everybody to take care of themselves. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe and be blessed. And we'll see you back on Monday. All right? The Moving Finger Writes has written. Moves on. Good day.
Hurry up. It's the Chris Miles Show. Giving you a logical perspective, an intelligent point of view. The full 411. Live from LA, it's the Chris Miles Show with your host, Chris Miles.